Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy, I'm Chris the Dom One, and I am back with another video. You know what you got to do: rate, comment, subscribe. Please believe, hit that notification bell so it'll let you know when my next live stream or video goes down. Follow me on my other social media applications, as well as follow my new podcast on iTunes. The podcast is called I'm Chris the Dom One Podcast. It's on iTunes. So, yo, what's up, dude? So, please believe, go check that out. Subscribe and enjoy. You will not be disappointed. Give it a 5-star rating and a glorified, hellified review. All right. So, we're about to get into it. Now, this article comes from the Los Angeles Times. Okay. And ESPN also talked about it as well. LeBron James, who's pretty much already given up his number 23 to cater to Anthony Davis. He'll be wearing number 6, the same number he used for the Miami Heat. And he's also going to switch positions. He's going to be, instead of small forward, a point guard. Not a point forward that he's accustomed of being, particularly when he was with the Heat and the second half of the Los Angeles Lakers, the Cleveland Cavaliers. But he's going to play point. Okay. Now, I kind of remembered a couple of years ago when the Houston Rockets announced that James Harden was going to play the point. And I thought, and I told everyone out there, I just didn't see it working. I really didn't see it working because to be a point guard, you have to be pretty much unselfish, okay? You're going to have to be the type of person that evolves and incorporate other players on the roster. You have to be a type of person that is going to play within a system, and you have to be the type of person that you have to know in the back of your mind that you may not, you may not score a lot. You may not you have to pretty much give up on worrying about trying to get awards and MVPs and things. Even though a lot of point guards have gotten the MVP of the season, MVP of the finals, but you have to have an unselfish type. You have to be pretty much unselfish. Okay, and even though LeBron James has demonstrated that through the years, he's never been the type of player that wants to score the most points. He's never been the type of player that wants, that really, the early part of LeBron James, not so much of these final 3 years of the LeBron James, where he's concerned about stats and things of that nature. So let's get into it. There are certain ingredients to have in being a point guard, and LeBron James have a lot of those ingredients, a lot of those intangibles. He has, you have to have an eye for it. You have to view the court as a landscape. You have to view where everyone is. I feel like LeBron James is great at that. You have to, you have to have great hands and great touch with the ball, particularly when you're assisting the ball to other players. I feel like LeBron James has that. He has the instincts. He's, he's basically a point guard trapped in a small forward body. So he has the ingredients, but the one thing, when a lot of these guys moved to point guard, and there was a custom of being a 2 guard, there was a custom of being a small forward. One thing that a lot of these guys don't, and then sometimes in certain instances, in certain games, they show off their point guard skills. But the one thing about being a point guard is it's a full-time job. It's not a part-time job. You just can't go in saying, okay, I'm gonna be a point guard for like 5 minutes and then be myself, for the rest of the quarter. if you're going to be a point guard, you have to have the mindset and you have to be locked in being a point guard. Okay, and being a point guard is not a glamorous job. There's a reason why a lot of smaller guards rather been two guards than point guards, because point guards is not a glamorous job. No one wakes up wanting to be a point guard. Now, it is what it is. If you get drafted and you're young in the game and you really don't have a brand and you really don't have any flexibility or juice or control to tell an organization that you rather play the two, you start off playing the point, but when you start getting enough clout in the league and you get what you want, and you dictate what you need, eventually you become a two guard. Or you might be a point, but you're disguised. You might play the position of the point, but you might be a two guard disguised as a point. So, as far as LeBron James being a point guard, I feel like he has the intangibles, but to me, I feel like he can pretty much, if he really commits in being a point guard on a full-time basis, I feel like he can be very successful in doing that, versus when you look at James Harden and when you look at other players who were two guards disguised as a point, how it was the transition was kind of rough on them. But to me, I feel like LeBron James can ultimately play this role and fit that role if he's committed, if he commits into it. And like I said earlier, it's not a part-time job. It's more so of a full-time. I felt like I feel like he always has played point, even when he was a small forward. Even when sometimes he, when particularly with the Miami Heat, he will switch positions. Like Pat Riley would say, when LeBron James signed with the Miami Heat, Pat Riley said, quote, LeBron James type player where he can pretty much play any position and have great success in those positions. He can play power forward, he can play small forward, he can play two guard, he can play the point, he can guard centers. He's that talented. But just playing certain roles in certain positions at certain parts of the game is one thing. Playing point guard, you have to be committed into it, and you have to embrace the fact that you're going to make others around you better, which LeBron James is accustomed of doing that anyway. As far as with the Los Angeles Lakers go, I feel like LeBron James is going to have some lumps along the way being point guard. And when it comes to LeBron James has not for the past ever since the Miami Heat years, you really didn't notice it, even though he'll have flashes of playing defense, but from that point on to now, he's been pretty much not utilizing all his energy on defense. It's not the fact that he forgot how to play defense. It's a simple fact of he no longer, he doesn't want to waste a lot of energy on the defensive end. So, you can sort of hide him, like in the same situation as Steph Curry. Steph Curry plays the point, but they hide Steph Curry on the defensive end. And you can probably hide LeBron James if he's a point guard, as long as you have players around him that that are athletic and that can play the zone and sometimes help on defense. And it's more easier to help a point guard versus a small forward. I mean, just that easy. So on a defensive standpoint, I think this is good for LeBron James. He's not going to. Another thing of him playing the point is the tempo. He can pretty much set the pace and the tempo by having the ball in his hands all the time. He can, in certain instances, that he can speed up the tempo. In certain instances, he can slow it down. So this will help him since he's going to have the ball in his hand. He can pretty much set the tempo. So in certain games where uh you know he doesn't want to utilize a lot of energy, he can slow the game down. And to me, I feel like LeBron James is, particularly at this stage in his career, he's more deadlier to me with being a point guard than being small forward. I feel like, particularly in the Western Conference, LeBron got exposed, particularly with a lot of small forwards he had to deal with in the West, and that's why the West was a juggernaut. Okay, he would have to, defend the likes of Kevin Durant. Pretty much, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard. Even though Kawhi Leonard was in Toronto, he had to, pretty much defend them sometimes by himself. All right. Also, the one key thing I like about this is if you look at the Lakers roster, they're kind of loaded. I'm not gonna say real loaded, but they got Cook, they got Rondo, and they can split minutes where LeBron James can, he doesn't have to necessarily play the whole game. Those two guys can share minutes and give LeBron James time off the ball where he can rest up. Load management. It'd be games where he can miss, where you got those two players, they can be the starting point guard. So I can see, and clearly, I feel like a lot of people are going to give this to LeBron. A lot of people are going to say, well, this is LeBron pretty much, LeBron pretty much coming to this conclusion. I feel like this is the coaching staff decision that, you have to look at what's, you have to look at LeBron face value. He's getting older. He's not going to be playing that many minutes. He's not even going to be playing that many games. So, you have to give your hats off to the coaching staff. I feel like, I think they already have schemes in place how this can work effectively for them and how this is going to be beneficial for the team. Okay. So, I was down on James Harden being point. I just didn't think James Harden really had the mindset of being the point, and he's already holding the ball too much as a two guard. And when the Rockets explored being the point, they found out that couldn't work, and then they made a trade for Chris Paul. Okay, it only worked for it. They only tried that for 1 year. Think about it, folks. If that really worked, then James Harden would stay as the point. You wouldn't make the trade for Chris Paul. Okay, so I feel like it can work, but once again, LeBron James have to have the mindset of, look, I'm a point guard. This is not a part-time job. This is a full-time job. This is a full decision. I've reached this, I and the coaching staff has reached this conclusion. And as long as he can stay on that path, I think this is very beneficial for the Los Angeles Lakers. Where this can pretty much wind up as, LeBron James doing his own thing is when LeBron James, have doubts about it. And then he starts saying, well, maybe let's start shaking some things up. I can play the point, okay? But in certain instances, I want to be small forward. I want to be a small forward, okay? I feel like if LeBron James as well as the Los Angeles Lakers as a team, understand the roster and the scheme that they're utilizing, and everyone plays under one system, this is going to be very beneficial not only for LeBron James but for the Los Angeles Lakers. Well, that's all I got for today. Please hit the like button. If you watch the re-air, which, you know, about 90% of you guys watch the re-air of these shows, please hit the like button. Also support and follow me on iTunes. I'm Chris the Dom One Podcast. Go check that out. Subscribe and enjoy. You will not be disappointed. It's your boy, and I am out of here. Deuces.